game, baby. App game, baby.
I go hard in the paint. I go hard in the paint.
I'm ducked off where the loud is legal. Right next door to Cali where the work a lot cheaper. Take you back in the trap in the 86 Regal. With a pocket full of stones booming like it was legal.
What's going on with everybody, man? Shoot.
Man, that's a hot track, man. I want to listen to the whole song every time.
I know, dude. I know. It's a hit, definitely. So shout out to Drummer Boy for that, man, for the those hits that we be using, man. Shout out to you, Drummer Boy. So it's your boy Suave.
And SPG.
And we here on the Man Cave, baby, and we have a disclaimer for everyone. Anything you hear we discuss in the Man Cave,
oh, it's going to stay right here in the Man Cave. That's the rule.
Man, you already know, man. So I have, as you know, me and SPG, we run the show together. We alternate on my channel, his channel, and we also have Twitters. So I'm gonna start putting those things out there. I put the link in the description for the next episode, gonna be on SPG channel. That's the link on the description. If you want our Twitters, there it is right there. Follow us, support us. We're gonna keep this thing going. This is season 2, baby. You know, season 2. So if you want those other seasons, we have them on our channels with the playlist in order, waiting on you. So catch those right there. Let's jump into it, man. So the last episode, we speaking of Twitter, I forgot to tweet this out. But the last episode, we was talking about, well, the last World War Z discussion episode, we was talking about the first battle with Negan and Rick's crew. And you see all the communities come together, the kingdom, you got Alexander, you got everybody coming together to join in this fight. And it's a battle. I mean, it's really unexpected for Negan. Negan is so surprised that, you know, he has all this. And then he has, what is her name? Help me with her name. His trump card that was trying to get, that Rapey Dave was trying to take advantage of. Sasha. Yeah. So Negan, thinking that he has Sasha as a trump card, his ace in the hole, when stuff going crazy, Tiger's coming out and, you know, slaying everybody. Negan is like running and trying to get away. And this is the first time you see Negan at his weakest, the first time, because he came unprepared. He opened up that coffin, as we discussed. Sasha comes out a zombie, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm losing everywhere." You know, he gets out of there. He runs. He's like, "Hey, it's okay." You saw in the next few episodes that Negan has a whole nother army. That was nothing. That was like maybe even 10% of his army.
And in that battle, Alexandria had teamed up with the Trash People, which I think is a horrible community. But regardless, they teamed up with the Trash People and they double crossed them. Yeah, and they had to run too, which I thought was funny because that big tiger, ain't nobody standing up against that tiger, man.
No, nobody but Ezekiel. And Ezekiel, he has a high respect for that tiger, man. So speaking of the tiger, a little bit after that, unfortunately, the tiger dies. But trying to say what he did, he saved. Well, I think it was a female. That was a female tiger, right? I think it was.
Yes,
I think it was. Yep. So she, the tiger, ended up saving Ezekiel, sacrificing her life, and it was so poetic. You know, that was like his best friend, and he really had a high respect for that tiger, and the tiger had a high respect for him. After that, you see the plans coming together like, hey, Negan's still not dead, so what we're going to do about it? You know, so they developing all these plans. They go through all these other episodes where they developing resources, getting resources from other people and all this stuff, trying to convince people to, hey, still join the fight. You don't want to be up under this man's thumb. Don't you want to just live peacefully? That whole spiel.
Negan comes to the compound before that fight, and he takes Eugene with him. He takes Eugene because Eugene is a smart little fucker and he can make bullets. So he snatched Eugene up. And yeah, man, I think we're about where Carl dies, because Carl leaves a note for everybody, for his dad, for Negan, for the whole crew, man. And Carl's last wish is to get Negan and his dad to drop the beef and try to build something worth maintaining. And the letters strike Negan actually is taken aback by Carl's death, which I thought was fantastic acting. And Rick, he kind of loses it a little bit. He goes on the warpath. Nope, they're all gonna die. And then him and his group, they start hitting Negan's compounds left and right, trying to wipe them all out. And then
Go ahead.
I was saying, then that proceeds to the big showdown with all of Negan's men and our group of survivors out there on a hill. The whole season that we're discussing, Eugene is kind of the villain or the heel, the bad guy. He's walking around taking orders from Negan and making him bullets that are going to kill his friends. And man, I really disliked Eugene during this period. What about you, Suave?
Dude, let me tell you, Eugene is one of those guys that he looks out for Eugene. Let's just be honest. He looks out for Eugene. Eugene knows that whoever that can protect him will be there, and all he has to do is offer knowledge. Over again, that was the main reason why Abraham had him along the whole time, because he sold Abraham a dream that, hey, you're gonna I know the cure to do this, to get this done.
Well, what Eugene did, Eugene was almost a master manipulator at that sense. He saw an army man and gave him a mission. You know what I mean? So it was good and bad he did that, but absolutely, man. Eugene is a crafty, scaredy bitch, is what I like to say.
Yeah, he is a scaredy cat, man. I mean, the only time I really seen Eugene, because moving fast forward, only time I've seen Eugene really do something heroic or have a backbone is when he stood up for, what is her name, Rosita, because he loves Rosita. And he knows that he would never be with Rosita, you know. But when she got attacked by some zombies somewhere deeper down in the episode, he was there defending, risking his life, you know.
What was creepy is I forget his name. The big guy with the army guy we were just talking about. I can't believe I forgot his name. Mother Dick guy, Dolphin Smooth. Damn it. The redhead. Anyway.
Abraham.
Abraham would let Eugene watch him and
Smash Rosita. Smash Rosita.
Yeah, man. That was nuts, man. That was a bit creepy, but yeah, absolutely, man. Eugene does help her out, and he did step up there. But so on the lead up to this big mashup between our saviors, or our survivors, and the saviors, Eugene, he pulled a fast one on Negan without anybody knowing. He manipulated the bullets to where they'd backfire or they would destroy the weapon that they was being shot out of. So,
what else, Sierra?
So all of Negan's men, as soon as they pull out their guns and go to shoot, all their guns explode, backfire. Some of them get hit, some of them don't. Some of them just drop the weapon. And Negan, he's had enough of this shit. He's pissed off. He charges Rick, and they start fighting under a tree. And here's where another major division happened within the show. A lot of people wanted Rick to kill Negan and get it over with. And instead, Rick, he made an example. He took some of the words that Carl gave him in the letter to heart, and he decided to do this a different way. So Rick, being the hero, he almost kills Negan, but doesn't. And he leaves him there to be stitched up, and he's going to incarcerate him. Now, at this point in the show, we have a 2-year or a 1-year time jump.
It's about 5 years, brother.
Not yet. No, that's when Rick leaves. Okay. There's like a year time jump, and when we catch back up with Rick and crew, Rick's family's a little older.
They're working with the Saviors.
Yep. Everyone's trying to work together. Rick has literally tried to band these 3 communities together and try to build something worthwhile and worth protecting. In the meantime, Negan is in jail. Maggie, she ends up leaving the show because she wanted to kill Negan, and it didn't really work out for her. Now, I know I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves, but Maggie ends up leaving because of Negan, but they keep Negan alive, and that was a big division on the show. People wanted to see Negan get what he had coming to him.
Right. Because of Glenn, we know.
Yep.
Because of Glenn.
So Rick is only in the first 8 episodes of this season, of season 10, I think it was.
Yep.
So the first 8 season is Rick trying to build these 3 communities up, get them to band together. They're trying to rebuild a bridge. And shit ain't going right. Rick's own people don't support Rick in the way they should be.
They don't trust the Saviors.
Yeah, and for good reason, because some of the Saviors ain't worth saving.
And then a lot of the Saviors was doing unnecessary stuff. Like there's a scene where a boy, he's giving water, and they're building this bridge because Rick is thinking like, hey, we need to rebuild this bridge to get across, to cut the time on getting resources.
Yes, to kind of join the communities in a way. Yeah.
So that was his vision of things. So Rick, this little kid, minding his business, giving water to everyone that needed water, and they were limited to only 1 cup of water so they can keep going, and he'll come back doing his job. One Savior decides to, I want more water. So he takes the jug and drink his more than a fair share of water.
Yeah.
When he does that, the kid stands up for himself, knocks the man down with his stick training that he got from Morgan, and then takes the water back. Well, Dara's seeing the whole thing, and the Savior guy wants to beat on the kid. Dara steps in to get into a fight. All of a sudden, Rick comes up out of nowhere, and he end the fight, talk to everyone. Everyone's like, Rick, why are you keeping these people alive? Like, we need to get rid of them. They're toxic. Okay. Later on after that, people start coming up missing. And it's the Saviors, So we're like, what is going on with the Savior? What's going on? So this is like what I call karma at its best. They start slaughtering the Saviors one by one, and no one knows what's going on. Maggie and Daryl goes out to track these Saviors down. They get down to the last few of them, and it's their people.
It's Oceanside.
From the women community, and
they're
staying there with a lady.
They held a grudge against Negan and the Saviors because
they
wiped out their men. And that's why they're almost all women over in Oceanside. I think that's why Luke moved there.
You think so?
Oh yeah, and nothing but women there, man. I'm sure of it.
So, this one particular female Savior, she did the most cruel thing you could do, man. So there was a 13, 15-year-old kid, and his sister is there holding the gun behind the Savior's head, and she want her to repeat what she said that day. She killed that little boy, and she told him that, hey, it doesn't matter, Well,
what surprised me the most about that scene is that Maggie and Daryl walked in on an execution, and went, and left.
Well, hold on. First, Maggie, Daryl was like, hold on, like, what's going on? And Maggie's like, okay, I want to hear what you said, so we can see if we need to make a judgment call on
bad
this.
Enough.
Yeah. And what came out of her mouth was not good enough for Maggie to save her life. So she ended up getting executed right there, man. And it was true justice with them and everybody in the crew, because it was like, hey, we needed that. That was all we needed right there, you know.
Yep.
And then after that, so you have the little small leftover savers. They leave. They like, hey, I'm not staying around, you know.
Yep. And Carol burns a few of them alive.
Oh, hold on. For good reason, though. For good reason. Now we at the 5-year point. We at the 5-year point now. So that little kid.
Rick leaving. Let's discuss.
Oh, Rick leaving. Do that. Go for it.
All right. So at the 8th episode of season 10, Rick has failed to rebuild this bridge, even though it's almost done. He's failed to bring these communities together overall. And he ends up having an accident. He gets hurt really bad. There's a herd out there he's trying to divert. He gets hurt really bad and he starts hallucinating. He's basically dying. He's in
the horse kicked him off and he fell on some metal and it impaled him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's dying. He's bleeding out and he's having all these visions of Herschel and the people that have died and came before. And he has an amazing interaction with Shane that I think everybody should watch if you haven't seen that far. Definitely. But so Rick makes it to the bridge in real life, and in his mind, he's still kind of hallucinating. And he figures out that everybody that's left alive is basically his family, and he's found them. And
an epiphany.
An epiphany right at the end. And he basically says, I found him. And he shoots some dynamite that was on the bridge and he blows it up so that all these zombies can be washed away. Now, Michonne, Daryl, Maggie, everybody sees this happen and they run up to see if Rick's okay, and Rick's missing. He's gone. Nobody can find his body. The only thing up there is his gun. What ended up happening?
His hat.
Yeah, and his hat. The only thing that what really happened to Rick is he got washed downstream. The explosion blew him in the water. He floated downstream. He made it to the side of the bank where he was going to die. But the trash lady, I just had her name on the tip of my tongue. I'm gonna forget it. But she saves Rick. She calls in a favor. She calls in a CRM helicopter. And they say, do you have an A? And she goes, I never had an A. I have a B. He's my friend. Save him. You know, and whatever A and B means, it still hasn't explained that.
We have no idea.
It still ain't explained that in the show. They attempted to in World Beyond, but that's a different show. You shouldn't have to watch a different show to understand this one.
Right. Right.
But so Rick gets carried off in this helicopter. Now, that could have been a series finale because they're going to do Rick movies supposedly, but they removed Rick from the show, and then there's a 5-year time jump, and in these 5 years, basically, it shows this cottage or this little shack, and it shows how overgrown everything has gotten over 5 years. Like it's a long time, and Rick, when the show picks up, is not in the show. He's still missing. He's still gone. His family thinks he's dead. And
Michonne had another kid. Well,
Michonne had another little Rick Grimes.
RJ.
RJ, and Rick's daughter is older. The show literally picks up with new characters: Magna, Yumiko, Luke, Connie, and who is it? The one who could do Sign, I forget her name. She's a great actress, though.
I do not know her name, though.
So we're introduced to these 5 characters, and they're in the zombie apocalypse trying to survive, and they run straight into Rick's daughter. And she's got a small katana. She's got Rick's big freaking Colt Python or whatever it is on her hip.
Colt 45.
It is amazing. I loved that iconic image of her. So I didn't like Carl dying, but I loved the image of the little girl with the saber or the sword and the gun.
I like the, if we're talking about kids, I like the replacement. If she's a replacement for Carl, I like this better because she's more disciplined and more independent and more open to learn. You know, she's very wise. She knows that.
I think
whatever,
she's a better. I might get flack for this, but I think she is a better actress than the guy who played Carl.
Indeed, I agree.
Yep, he's impaled by rebar. That's what it was. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So after this 5-year time jump, Suave, did you like any of those characters they introduced you to?
I did. You know, I gotta be honest though, man. So the oldest sister that was deaf had a youngest sister that was helping her sign. I honestly did not know that was a female until like 3 or 4 episodes after that. I honestly did not know. And it was one incident where she went missing and they had to find her, and the oldest sister that signed, she said, I need to find my sister. You know what I'm saying? She's out there. I was like, wow, that's a female? Like, I had no idea. So I honestly thought it was maybe a 15, 17-year-old boy, you know what I'm saying? And, but hey, it is what it is. It didn't bother me not one bit.
I didn't
just to clear that up.
I didn't like Magna. I like Yumiko. I like Luke because he's from Fantastic Beasts. How could you not like Luke?
I mean, Luke is cool. He's like really cool, man.
He is, man. So I liked Yumiko and Luke and Connie, the deaf one that has to write stuff down for Daryl. I really liked her character. But this time jump left you with some mysteries, man.
We got a new villain also.
Yeah, we do. We're about to get into that. Alexandria, though, has shut itself off from the outside world. They're no longer taking people in. Negan's still rotting in jail. They don't give a shit about survivors anymore. They're not bringing nobody in at all. And you come to find out that that Michonne and Daryl have been looking for Rick for a while. At least the first year or so, they really looked hard for Rick. Even while Michonne was pregnant out to here, she was looking for Rick. They never find him. So Rick is gone. And then once they meet these new people and you kind of get the backstory for why they're not allowing new people in, they all decide to work together. And we get a new villain. Tell us about these villains, man. Because I think these are the scariest ones ever.
Yeah. So before that, real short, there's a big reason why they stopped letting people in. Michonne had a friend back when the world was all good. And it was like a best friend, like a sister to her. That lady, they welcomed her in. She was happy to see her. She was like, oh, man, they was reminiscing, yada, yada. This lady ended up gathering kids. Gathering kids and training them to be assassins. And really successful at it. And she kidnapped all the kids in the community, take them to another spot, and Michonne and Daryl go looking for them. When they go looking for them, they captured and everything. They find out the news that, hey, this lady is crazy. She's not the friend that I used to know. And
they had to put her down.
They had to put her down. And then what's so sad, Michonne had to take down a few kids, you know. She didn't want to, but she was pregnant. They was cutting on her. So she ended a few kids, you know, all of them except one, to be honest. And she led him with a choice, like, hey, you need to get gone. You know what I'm saying? And so now we have a new villain, huge player in the game. This person, these new villains, they not only are very ferocious, but they have an army of their own, you know. So this new villain can also they're like whispers. They call whispers because they can communicate with the zombies and control them to do what they like.
All right, the Whisperers is going to go for another 20 minutes. I say we end it here, brother.
Okay.
After Whisperers,
we're gonna jump on to the next one on SPG's channel. We're gonna try to wrap it up for you guys, man. The Whisperers are a very interesting villains and everything because it was unexpected. They actually was thinking, I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna end it. They actually were thinking that these zombies had upgraded. You know what I'm saying? They've changed. You know, they was thinking that they can communicate now.
And they did it well in the show about them whispering, but in the comic, it was even like they literally thought the dead were talking at first, like communicating. It was real creepy in the comic, like super creepy. But all right, man, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, we'll finish up on my channel, man.
Indeed. Well, look, until next time, guys. I'm Suave.
I'm SPG.
We out this thing, guys.
Later.
Follow us on Twitter.
The app game, baby. The app game, baby.
I go hard in the paint. I go hard in the paint.
I'm ducked off where the loud is legal. Right next door to Cali where the work a lot cheaper. Take you back in the trap in the 86 Regal. With a pocket full of stones booming like it was legal.